games. If XL was going to win football games, Bill Gates would be killing it right now. Okay, but you've got to take those numbers as a tool, and then you've got to go and factor in how your team's playing at the time and what the opponent has as well.
He's 100% right. I probably wouldn't have used the line because I know how the media works. They have no courage. So everybody beats up on the losing coach. Bill Belichick 2 years ago, he puts less than zero stock into the analytics during Patriots games. Crickets from all the tough guys in the media. Not a word. Here's a classic example of the media wanting analytics to be important. The media want, especially print guys, don't make much money. They want to feel smarter than everybody. Per a September 2020 survey conducted by ESPN's Seth Walder, he conducted it. 6 of the 12 playoff teams from 2019 were voted among the 10 most analytically advanced organizations. 6 of 12. That means 6 of 12 also didn't use analytics. Sorry, Seth. Doesn't prove anything. It proves you can, you can't. You know what wins in this league? Tough guys, great quarterbacks. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Okay, had a great quarterback. Pete Carroll couldn't win games until he had a great quarterback. Belichick now can't win games because he didn't have a great quarterback. It's kind of the sport. If the Giants had won 2 of the 3 games they've played, and they led all of them with seconds to play, if they'd won all 3, Joe Judge would be 8-3 in his last 11 games. Now, with Daniel Jones. Analytics, first of all, I'm in no hurry for them to take over the NFL. They've ruined baseball. It's all launch angles and exit velocity and all these nerds now. There's no base runners in activity. And basketball's all three-point shots. I used to like mid-range jumpers, and I liked Lou Brock and Joe Morgan and cat and mouse game and singles and doubles. That's the first thing. Second thing, when you win, you can say anything and nobody cares. By the way, I've always believed analytics are something I would look at. I think they're based on volume. Over the course of regular seasons and volume, analytics are very crucial. But when you get to the postseason in all these sports, the umpiring changes, the officiating changes. Let's take the NBA. NBA is all in on analytics. The last 3 champions, Bucks, Raptors, Lakers, they all had 2 things in common: not shooting threes. They were all big, tough, physical teams that played great defense. 2 of them didn't shoot threes. One, the Bucks, did pretty well, but their best player can't shoot at all. But they're tough. Basketball analytics. Why is James Harden great in the regular season and a flame out in the postseason? Because analytics don't transcend to the postseason. Prime example, what happens in every basketball postseason? Refs swallow the whistle. So the game is officiated differently. Who's that given advantage to? Tough, physical men. That's why all the cool regular season stories with the young teams, they all lose wrestling matches once you get to the playoffs. So the refs officiate different. Coaches in basketball playoffs coach different. They shrink. Guys that were playing Tuesday night in Denver in January don't see the floor. So the coaches coach different. The refs ref different. Veteran players, we all know this, play harder when there's situational urgency. So go look at the NBA playoffs. The analytic team, what about the Warriors? Well, they had the 3 greatest shooters in the history of basketball. You didn't. They did. And even they had issues in the postseason, often against very physical teams. So the analytics are great for volume. But in baseball playoffs, I mean, you'll literally have Clayton Kershaw pitch one night. 2 nights later, you would consider using Kershaw out of the bullpen. You don't do that in May against the Reds, but you do it in October against the Yankees or against the Cubs or the Brewers or the Astros in a playoff game. You manage different in baseball in the playoffs. You have Verlander, bring him out of the pen. He pitched 2 nights ago. It's game 6. In the NBA, you coach differently. Refs swallow a whistle. And in the NFL, Belichick experiments all the time in September. He doesn't in January. Running backs who got touches in the fall don't make the roster in December. They're a DNP. They're not in the game plan. So I like analytics But the idea that 6 of 12 teams in 2019 that made the playoffs did analytics, that means 6 of 12 didn't. And nobody pushed back on Belichick because he was winning. Joe Judge is good. I believe he is. But when you have a young quarterback and a coordinator, Jason Garrett, who's pretty conservative, and a bad O-line, you lose close games. If he had Justin Herbert, he's probably 3-0 this year. If he had a little better line, like the Chargers with Herbert do, he'd probably win games in Kansas City, not lose games to Atlanta. Analytics, I like analytics. But this rush to them that they're the Bible, look at what postseason baseball, postseason basketball is. The umpiring changes, the rosters shrink, the pitching staff shrink, the games change. So regular season analytics can't be treated as the be-all, end-all. They need to be viewed and watched, but understood with some skepticism. They're not the answer to everything, especially when the games count the most. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.